All right, buckle up because you're about to see what the rest of the NFL completely missed. There's an explosive talent landing in Washington that nobody saw coming, a behind-the-scenes bombshell that could rock the entire locker room, and a potential signing that would leave any defense shaking in their cleats. The Commanders' offseason is on fire, and today, my friend, the stadium is about to tremble. Could this new offensive weapon become a starter right out of the gate? And if the defense loses one of its cornerstones, who's going to hold this team together? Drop a comment right now. Are you feeling confident about the direction the front office is taking? Smash that like button and let's go. There's talent that screams so loud you can't ignore it, and yet all 32 teams passed. But the Washington Commanders, they were wide awake. Listen up, my friend. Remember this name, Ja'Cory Brooks. This dude has everything it takes to be the biggest surprise of the offseason. And if you blink, he might even be a starter sooner than you think. You know the type of player who arrives hungry with a chip on his shoulder the size of Texas, wanting to prove to the world they messed up big time by overlooking him. That's exactly what Brooks brings to the table. The guy started at Alabama, playing with Bryce Young as the WR1 in one of the toughest programs in the NCAA. Then came a season wrecked by injury. He disappeared off the radar, transferred to Louisville, and then, man, he exploded. Over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, and a highlight reel of acrobatic catches that looked like something out of a video game. The question hanging in the air, why? Wasn't this guy drafted? Simple. The NFL has a short memory. Injury, team see risk. Transfer, they questioned his commitment. But the Commanders saw what truly matters, real production on the field, absurd physical potential, and a killer mentality. You can't coach that. And that's what could turn Brooks from a gamble into a gem. And hold on, this isn't just hype. Let's talk about fit. With McLaurin and Debo being the reliable veterans, the offense needs to restock the receiver shelves. Noah Brown? A hard worker, sure, but let's be real. He's not a serious threat. Brooks played the majority of his snaps lined up outside, exactly where that spot is wide open. And get this, he can also block. Over 700 career blocking snaps, something coaches absolutely love in a WR. And you know what else? His production per route run is above average. He's consistent with the fundamentals, and he even contributes on special teams. The ideal scenario? Brooks comes out of nowhere in training camp, shines in the preseason games, and when the team lines up in 3 receiver sets, he's out there. If not as a starter, then at least as the immediate backup on the outside. And if a veteran's performance dips or they get injured, hold on to your hats, folks. Now think about this. A quarterback like Jaden Daniels needs young weapons growing alongside him. The chemistry that could develop there has all the makings of a long-term asset. The coaching staff is locked in on this. And the fans need to be too. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day, because the next bombshell involves one of the leaders of this roster potentially wanting out. And that, my friend, could change the entire identity of the defense. There's news that just doesn't sit right. And this one, my friend, is a gut punch. To the fan base, Jonathan Allen has been given permission to seek a trade. Yes, you heard that correctly. One of the pillars of the defense. One of the most vocal leaders on and off the field. A guy who represents the heart and soul of this franchise. Could be on his way out. And this raises a truckload of questions. But the main one is, what's going on inside the Commanders' locker room? Because Allen isn't just anyone. He was a first-round pick. He stayed here when a lot of guys jumped ship. He played through injuries, he shouldered the blame even during pathetic seasons, and now, out of nowhere, the front office gives him the green light to leave? Let's get to the facts. Allen is entering the final year of his contract. 4 years, $72 million. If he's traded now, the team saves $16, $3 million in cap space. That's money that could be quickly reallocated to strengthen other areas like the secondary or the linebacker core. But it's not just about money. It's about leadership, identity, culture. Take Allen out of that locker room and who steps up? Oh, and there's more. Allen didn't have a brilliant season in 2024. He only played 9 games, tore his pectoral muscle. His production did drop, yes, but his influence goes far beyond the numbers. When the going gets tough, he's the guy who takes responsibility, who gets in a teammate's face if necessary. Losing that is like losing the heart of the defense. Now, let's look at it from Allen's perspective too. The guy is 30 years old. He wants to compete. He made it clear in an interview last year. He's tired of losing. He wants to win. And maybe for him, this new cycle with Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels is just another long rebuild, another wait. And then he thought, better to look for a contender now while I still have gas in the tank. It's a tough decision on both sides, and one that has an immediate impact. If Allen is traded, the defensive line loses its technical and emotional leader. Young guys like Darren Payne and Fidarian Mathis will have to grow up fast. And the new defensive coordinator will have to find a new anchor for that front seven. But hold on tight, because things are about to get even wilder. After potentially losing one of the leaders of the defense, what if the Commanders are about to add one of the most feared running backs of the last decade? The next piece of news involves a name everyone knows, a no one expected in Washington. Can you even picture an offense with Jaden Daniels running the show and Nick Chubb carrying the load with brute force? Well, that scenario that seemed impossible a month ago is now serious chatter in NFL circles. And if it's up to the aggressive philosophy of general manager Adam Peters, nothing can be ruled out. Let's break it down. Chubb is on the market, free and healthy. Yes, after 2 seasons plagued by serious injuries, MCL, ACL, and even a foot fracture, the beast is training, motivated, and ready to silence the doubters. And listen, when he's on the field, nobody runs with more authority. The guy has over 6,500 rushing yards in 7 seasons and an absurd average of 3 yards per carry. You don't find that on the clearance rack. The Browns have already moved on. They drafted 2 RBs, including Quinton Judkins, in the 2nd round. Chubb isn't in their plans, but he's not out of the game, and that's where Washington comes in. A team that wants to run the ball, but still relies too much on their quarterback's legs. In 2024, a good portion of their rushing yards came from Daniels improvising. That's not sustainable for 3-4 years. The coaching staff knows it, the fans know it, and that brings up the question, is it worth betting on a veteran like Chubb, even with his concerning medical history? The answer is yes, if the price is right. A short contract with performance-based bonuses gives the team the chance to put Formula One fuel in an already potent engine. Right now, the backfield has Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler, who complement each other well. But neither of them commands respect like Chubb. And it's not about replacing anyone. It's about adding elite depth, tactical variety, and a constant threat for 20-plus yard gains. In a system that now has Laramie Tunsil on the offensive line and a defensive-minded coach like Dan Quinn at the helm, keeping the offense on the field and controlling the clock is a strategic weapon. And what's more, this signing would send a clear message to the locker room and the fan base. We're not rebuilding slowly. We're attacking the present with everything we've got. And giving that kind of weapon to Daniels, one of the most promising young QBs in the league. That could be the move that transforms an interesting offense into an unstoppable force. But what about you, fans? Would you make that bet? Or do you think it would be a mistake to risk it on a player who spent so much time on the sidelines? Because look, if this bombshell actually explodes, the NFC landscape changes dramatically. And with all of this happening, only one question remains. If one thing became clear today, it's that this team isn't messing around. There's hidden talent ready to explode, a historic veteran potentially on his way out, and a possible 220-pound wrecking ball ready to land in the backfield. The 2025 Washington Commanders are already more promising than any version since 2016, and that's with room to grow even more. But what do you think? Are we building a dynasty or just stacking pieces that don't fit? Let me know in the comments. No holds barred. And hey, if you want to stay on top of every step of this revolution in Washington, hit that subscribe button, because here the stands never go silent.